So we've heard a little bit this morning about Jesus and his ministry and about what the Last Supper is and how we believe that we all have things to bring to the table. And that inclusive spirit is core to the message that Jesus was trying to teach, and it's core to who we try to be here at First Parish in Malden. So before we share this meal together, I want to talk just a little bit about why this ritual is important to this church. Unitarian Universalism comes from the Christian tradition. It's true that not all of us identify as Christians. I would even venture to say that most of us don't identify as Christians, although some of us do. But Christianity is the religion that we as a faith tradition come from. And one of the main practices of Christianity is communion, this practice of sharing wine, or in this case, we only have grape juice, and bread that Jesus asked his followers to consume to remember him. The story of Jesus tells of a person who surrounded himself with those who were different from him. He invited tax collectors to come and eat with him. He invited the poor to come and eat with him. He told stories about Samaritans in a positive light, and those were people that a lot of Jesus's followers would not have liked back in that day. He was a person who surrounded himself with people who were different, and he believed in the power of sharing a meal. Now, I think there's something very leveling about this. When you share a meal with someone, you put yourself on the same level as them. One of the stories that Jesus teaches us is that he washed the feet of this isn't a story he taught, sorry. One of the things that Jesus did is that he washed the feet of his disciples on that Thursday before his arrest. So that is somebody who doesn't see himself as better than. He saw himself as part of this movement where the last would be first and the first would be last, where his people found liberation. Jesus's radicalism is such that it's hard to imagine that many of the folks who follow his religion and do things like object to immigration or believe in the genocides that have been done in his name truly understand and know the lessons that he was intending to teach. And as Unitarian Universalists who hold many different beliefs, we do try to emulate this idea that many people belong at the table. And in some ways, like Martha says, we try to center those who have been more suppressed and marginalized at the table. We try to create a table that was with you in mind, whoever you might be. And here's the thing that I think is important. There's a mistaken belief about Unitarian Universalism, and it's that UUs can believe whatever they want, right? We come here with different beliefs, and people like to say, this is the church where you can believe whatever you want. But that simply isn't true. A good example of this is if somebody came into our church and said, I'm a member of the KKK, and I believe that the white race is superior, and I'm working towards that. We would say that that's incompatible with our beliefs here. We do not believe that is true. And when it comes to Christianity and Christian UUs also believe, they do not believe that Jesus Christ is the only path to salvation. They believe that Jesus's life and teachings are one of the ways in which the divine shows up in our world, along with many others. And so I want you to hear this message. We here at First Parish in Malden and as Unitarian Universalists, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We believe that whoever you are is welcome at the table. We don't believe that all actions are necessarily welcome in our space. And we don't believe that all beliefs are holy and true. But we also don't believe that all of us are perfect. We do believe that you are welcome and that you have something to offer to bring to this table. We do believe that you, like all of us, are imperfect, that you, like all of us, are in the midst of change and transformation. And we believe that you, like all of us, are holy. We recognize that you might identify as Christian and you might not. We recognize that this ritual might feel really comfortable to you, or it might be a little uncomfortable, the way it was to Martha when she first came here, and maybe still is now in a way. But we invite you to come forward, regardless of your belief about Jesus or his divinity. Because one of the things that we do here at First Parish in Malden is we sing each other's hymns, right? I'll sing your hymn if you sing mine, because we have so many different beliefs that come together. So you're going to be invited to come forward and share in this ancient ritual of sharing a meal together and praying for a better world. So I'm going to ask Aisha to come forward to help, if you'll take a stand down there. The way this is going to work is that I will hand out the cups of grape juice. If you can come forward sort of around this side of the sanctuary. We have 2 plates of bread. We have a gluten-free bread. If you want to remove the pieces of cloth from each of those, the smaller bowl with the smaller plate with the little decorations around it is the gluten-free plate. So you're going to be invited to come forward to take a little bit of the grape juice, to take your bread, and then to return to your seat. Because of COVID, we want to make sure that folks have a little bit of space as they're consuming, as they're taking communion. So as we do that, I believe Soren is going to sing us a song about the crowded table that we all share together. You are invited to come forward.